Happy Sunday, sports bettors and non-sports bettors alike. My name is Jemiah. I want to welcome you into The Window, the sports betting podcast where we are trying to turn a losing hobby into a legitimate side hustle and make a little vacation money and motivate you along the way to be a better person, become a better version of yourself, the best version of yourself. Let's get into the recap for yesterday while I'm here. Sorry, I'm a little bit ill-prepared this morning. I just wanted to get the pod out so I'm not beating your eardrums up and wasting a bunch of time. But let's look and see how we did yesterday. Let's see. Yesterday, we had the Indiana Fever plus 4.5. They had that lead the entire game, and in the last minute and a half, they blew it and lost by 8. New York's experience really came through. Breanna Stewart really came through. She had 30 points, 18 rebounds, and both defenses showed up. So both bets on the Fever Liberty game lost, unfortunately. The Red Sox game got rained out against the Yankees, but we're going to be back on them today. So a little bit more on that later. Dream minus 10.5 against Washington Mystics. Cash that. Dream and Mystics over 160.5. Cash that. Miami Marlins on the money line against Tampa Bay at plus money. Cash that. Las Vegas Aces, Golden State Valkyries under 169.5. Cash that. Valkyries plus 3.5. Another tough beat in the WNBA. We got done in by free throws again. The Valkyrie were only they had the lead again, but the experience of New York and Las Vegas is showing up at the end of games at the right time. I mean, it's early in the year, so hopefully they stay healthy, but this experience is it's a big deal. Closing out games and stuff, and they're showing it against younger teams, how much that matters. And I've got to take that into account when I'm handicapping these games going forward. But they were the Valkyrie were up by 3. Next thing you know, I blink. The Aces are up by 2. Got a foul. Alana Smith had 2 free throws, missed them, made one, missed one. They go up by 3. And Valkyrie go down, take a shot, miss said shot. Guess who gets the rebound? A'ja Wilson. Guess who's not missing 2 free throws when they're down by 3? A'ja Wilson. She hits both free throws, 2.8 seconds left. Valkyrie plus 3.5. Dead in the water. So that stung, but it is what it is. And we also had the San Francisco Giants on the money line against the Cubs. A late inning loss. They lost 3-2. That happens when you bet underdogs. So you just got to smile, nod, grin, and bear it. Let me see. What else was that yesterday? Last one for yesterday. Oh, the Lynx and the Storm over 160.5. Look, man, this game was going over the entire time. You can follow along in the little stat thing, and it shows you that the percentage of a bet cashing. And in the app I use, it was like 90% set to cash, and they finished with 4 points under. They could not get 2 buckets. Minnesota had a 20-point lead. Seattle couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a handful of rocks, which is par for the course for those ladies. They cannot shoot for shit. So we had 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 wins, 6 losses on the day, and 1 push because Boston didn't play. And we dropped a couple of units, but we're going to get them right back today. We've got 7 bets on the docket. But before we get into that, of course, I'm going to try to motivate you to be a better person. And in motivating you, I mean me. I need to be a better person. And what I'm learning is that when I reach for something greater than myself, when I reach for something higher, when I reach for things that I want that are meaningful, there is a beauty and a purity that comes from that makes you feel good about yourself because you're doing something outside of yourself to make yourself the best version of yourself. And that should be the version you want to present to your loved ones, your friends, your family, the best version of yourself, because that's what they deserve. They might not give you the best version of themselves, but I feel as though we as people have an obligation to give this world and give our community and those that surround us the best version of ourselves. I personally don't want to be a product of my environment. I could have. from where I came from. You know, had a rough upbringing, rough life, whatever. But I will not be a product of that. I'm going to make my environment a product of me. The only way I can make my environment a product of me is by being the best version of myself. And the only way I can do that is through love, through honesty, through purity, through unselfishness. And reaching for these things makes you change, and you can really take pleasure in waking up in the morning and the abundance of just having a full life. With everything that might be going on in your life, you still have a full life. You do. It might suck right now. You might be going through some shit. It's tough. But I promise you, you've got two options. Two options. It's either gonna work out or it's gonna work out. All right? You got this. Stay up. Stay positive. Let's talk about some sports gambling, and we'll start in Major League Baseball and get it out of the way, because I'm pretty sure not a lot of people care about it, but I do, because we are on a good little run. And this Sunday we've got 3 plays. Let's get into it. We're taking the Cleveland Guardians again against the Texas Rangers. Jacob deGrom is on the mound, and I need you to hear what I'm about to say very carefully, because the name is going to try to trick you. Jacob deGrom is a legend. He's a Hall of Famer, 2-time Cy Young Award winner. He's a great pitcher. He's got a career ERA of 2.62. You know, I don't care about ERA, but over the length of a career, that can tell you a story. And a career WHIP of 0.99. One of the greatest pitchers of this generation for sure, and that is all true. None of it matters today. Here's what does matter. Over his last 4 starts, ERA 6.45. He's allowed 12 home runs in 53 innings. That's 2 runs per 9 innings. One of the worst in baseball for a starter. He lasted 3 innings against the Angels. The Angels are terrible. And he gave up 6 runs. His velocity's down. His mechanics have been off. He's regressing toward the dog days of summer. Like it's a long season, and he's gonna go through ups and downs. He's great. He's a great pitcher, but right now is the time to fade him. On the other side, the Guardians are giving the ball to Joey Cantillo. He's 4-2 with a 3.92 ERA. His contact profile in 2026 exit velocity is 88.2 miles an hour. His hard hit rate is 38.5%, and the barrel percentage rate is 7.5%. Barrel rate, hard hit, giving up home runs, giving up hits, it's pretty low for Joey Cantillo. And with that being said, his Wnba, which is with runners on base average, is 3.30, and his expected is 0.319. And it's better than the expected is better than the actual stat, which means he's regressing the right way. If the expected is better than the actual stat, like if you look at ERA, look at expected ERA. If you're going to look at the FIP, which is fielding independent of pitching, which is measures a pitcher's luck, look at the expected FIP. And if the expected FIP is lower, that means the pitcher is due to regress in a winning direction. If it's higher, he's due to regress in a losing direction, and it's on the way. So enough of that. Cleveland just beat Texas yesterday, 6-0. You're giving me plus money on Cleveland against the Rangers on a pitcher who's in a bit of a, I don't want to call it a slump, but he's a little down right now at this point in the year. We're going to take the Guardians on the money line for a unit. Next up, we're taking the Red Sox against the Yankees, and I've been doing this for about a half a week now. Ranger Suarez is going for Boston today after Saturday's postponement pushed him back. He's 2 wins, 3 losses, 3.29 FIP, 3.61 xFIP, 1.16 WHIP, and a 2.57 BABIP, BABIP. The FIP and the xFIP are both tracking close to the ERA, and that's a legitimate arm, not a paper number. That Ranger Suarez is good. He is a good pitcher. Now, Cam Schlittler is going for New York, and he's outside of Paul Skeens, he is the best pitcher. He will probably win the Cy Young Award. He's the odds-on favorite right now. He's 7 wins and 3 losses, 1.91 FIP. His numbers are excellent. 88.2 average exit velocity, 40.1% hard hit rate. Notice the hard hit rate is important. Pay attention to that when you're looking at baseball games. And a 6.6% barrel rate. He's one of the best stories in baseball this year, and I'm not fading him. I am fading the Yankees lineup. With Aaron Judge out, it's going to come down to Giancarlo Stanton and Dominguez to make this offense go, and I don't trust them. Not without Aaron Judge in there as a backup. It's just not. It's not gonna do it. First, the lineup. Like I said, Aaron Judge with the rib stress fracture, he's out 4 to 6 weeks. Austin Wells, the Yankees catcher and one of their better bats, is also on the IL with cervical headaches. I don't know if that's a headache in his cervix, but I don't know what a cervical headache is. But yeah, so he's one of their better bats. He's out of the lineup as well, and that's real power removed from the middle of the lineup. Not narrative, not spin. It's just they've lost production, and the Red Sox are rounding into form after having a horrendous start to the year. Next is the numbers. Watching the market. Sorry, I'm trying to get my there we go. My pen to work. DraftKings is showing Boston at 65% of the money against 27% of the tickets. Anytime you have more money, you have bet tickets, and then you have the money on those tickets. And if you've got 27% of the tickets, but 65% of the money, that means big time money is coming in on Boston at this price. That's money going towards Boston. That's what to the dog. And also worth noting, Schlittler's last 2 starts have not been his best. His velocity was down on both. He gave up 5 runs against my Guardians 5 days ago. He acknowledged it. He said his mechanics were off. He might be fine today, and he still might be searching for that feel, but I don't think he makes it past the 6th inning. And then you get to the Yankee bullpen. Red Sox can make some things happen, and at this price, we're going to take the Red Sox on the money line to the window. Last play in Major League Baseball is the Washington Nationals at plus 120 to sweep the Arizona Diamondback, and sweep is operative word here. The Nationals were a fade for a lot of people when the season started. They thought they were going to be a bad team. They're not a great team by any means, but they can hit the ball. This team can score runs. Cade Cavalli's going for the Nationals. He's 3 wins, 3 losses, a 3.62 ERA, 1.42 WHIP, and a 3.01 FIP. 3.5 runs better than the ERA. So his FIP is better than his ERA. He's regressing to a winning direction. And we're going to take Cavalli, and he's just had some bad luck on balls that are getting in play. The strikeout rate, he's averaging 10.26 strikeouts per 9 innings. The arm is better than what you see on the paper. Mike Soroka is going for Arizona, and he's having a good year. He used to play for the Braves. He's having a really good year. 1.19 WHIP. He's a good pitcher, but his contact profile carries a warning. His exit velocity is 87.9%, hard hit rate 33.9, barrel rate 8.5%. Now, the 2 games I just talked about previous, notice their barrel rate. The guy for the Guardians, his barrel rate was, just to point this out to you, his barrel rate was 7.5%. Okay. Cam Schlittler, his barrel rate, sorry, let me find it here, 6.6% barrel rate. So you got a 7.5, 6.5. We're fading the 6.5 in that because his mechanics were off. But Soroka, his barrel rate, 8.5%. So that's 2% hard. He's getting hit 2% more so, and these little percentages matter in baseball, but he's getting hit way more. He's regressing towards the Jacob deGrom area where he's regressing to getting tattooed by this Nationals offense. And if I'm getting plus money on it, it's not that he's going to blow up, but it's enough of a flag for me to take this price on the Nationals at plus money. Sharp Money supports it. Circa showing Washington 89% of the money and 67% of the bets at Circa. And this is the book that takes the big boy bets, and you don't have to worry about getting limited. They want your action. They will take $100,000 bet, or they will take money without limiting you, like the sports book with the Crown, or the sports book with the fans that like to duel, if you get my meaning. The Nationals have won 7 of their last 8. They're on a 4-series road winning streak. They're not the doormat that people thought they were going to be. The Nationals should sweep the Diamondbacks today, and I'm willing to pay to find out. So a unit on the Nationals. It's 3 plays, 3 units. Guardians plus 129. The Red Sox plus 153. The Nationals plus 120. To break it down money-wise, if you put $10 on the Guardians today to win this game, you would bring back, you would bring home $23. If you put $10 on the Red Sox to win today, you would bring home $25. If you put $10 on the Nationals to win today, you would bring back $22. So that's it for baseball. Get them to the window. And let's get into the WNBA. And I'm gonna recap yesterday. Yesterday was it wasn't awful. It was just the totals are what got away from me, and the end of the game things with the free throws and the experience of some of these teams. It just got away from them. The wins were clean. Atlanta minus 10.5. They won by 32. Washington only scored 77 against the second best defense in the league. Sonia Citron did play. She didn't play well. They probably should have sat her out. And we also hit the over on that, as I mentioned earlier. Golden State and Las Vegas, that under cashed easily with Kennedy Carter out and Jewel Lloyd not 100%. The losses were the tough ones. Again, the over in the Fever and Liberty game, I did not expect that kind of defense from New York or in Indiana for that matter, but their defense stepped up. And respect. I tip my cap. It is what it is. The model I have and the way I'm looking at these games, I'm expecting overs, but I'm going to have to adjust as the season goes on. So I'm going to pull back on totals until the next ratings update in my model. And until then, we're going to go back to what works, and we're just going to go make bets against the spread. And I'm doing I know I said yesterday I wasn't doing props, but there were two I just cannot pass up. Only two. And then only 2 bets against the spread. 2 spreads, 2 props. WNBA, let's go. Portland Fire, they're playing the Los Angeles Sparks at, I guess it's 7 tonight. This spread is 8.5. That's, I don't see it. Look, Portland, they are a Jekyll and Hyde team. They beat Indiana by 30, and then they'll lose to somebody they're not supposed to lose to by 15. It doesn't make any sense. It is what it is. You smile, nod, you grin and bear it. It's an expansion team. They're learning each other, learning the coach. And I just think Los Angeles, even with Kelsey Plum back, laying 8.5 is crazy. So we're going to take the Portland Fire plus 8.5. For all my WNBA bettors, that means Portland can just win the game. That'd be cool. Or not cool because we have a win total bet on the Sparks. But whatever. For today, this Sunday, they can win the game outright, but they cannot lose by more than 8 points. So Portland Fire plus 8.5 against the Los Angeles Sparks. Next up, this one may have gotten away from you. I put this in last night. It's, again, if you're following along in the Pickett or Juice Reel app, you can get these bets in real time. And when I put them in, at 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning at some weird time when I'm baked out of my mind and doing homework. But we are taking the Toronto Tempo on the money line. I got them at minus 132. It's upwards of minus 150 right now. I don't have a problem if you want to lay the 3 points, take Toronto minus 2.5 to 3. I think that's where the line is at. I'm good with that. I would prefer the money line, but laying that much, paying that price for that money line, I don't like it. So if it's too expensive for you, don't pay it, don't bet it. But we've got this in Toronto Tempo on the money line against Toronto. The line opened at like minus 1.5, then it went to 2, then it went to 2.5, then it went to 3. Now it's at 3.5. Chicago is broken. These injuries are hurting them. Skylar Diggins and Camila Cardoso can only do so much without help, and their bench is struggling. Gabrielle Vasquez, the girl they got from UCLA, is not playing up to her potential just yet. She'll get there eventually. She's just not there yet. Toronto at home court is a real thing for Toronto. Teams like Toronto and the Dream now, surprisingly, they're getting a good crowd. Toronto, great home court. Dream, great home court is turned into. Minnesota always has one. New York has a good one. Dallas is getting there, and I'm forgetting someone, but Toronto has a great home court on a Sunday afternoon in the 6. Give me Toronto on the money line to win this game against a broken Chicago team. Bet number 3, we're taking Mrs. Kelsey Plum over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. This is for your DFS fantasy players. I just bet them straight. I don't do the DFS thing. But here's why this line is a gift. Through the first several games of the season, she was averaging 26.8 points a game, 5.5 assists, and 1.5 rebounds a game. That's a points, rebound, and assist average of 33. This line is at 28.5. I know she's coming back from an ankle, but I don't think the ankle was that serious. I think they were being extra cautious. She dropped 38 points and 9 assists earlier this season against Las Vegas. She's at home against Portland, an expansion team. These girls, the girls are tough. They're guards, but Kelsey's tougher. My favorite player in the league. One of. I've got my starting 5 of my honeydew drops. That's what I call them. But LA plays at the fastest pace in the league. More possessions, more opportunities, more Kelsey Plum. All 5 factors confirmed through my little step-by-step process to getting to make a bet. So Kelsey Plum over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists against Portland. Get that shit to the window because that motherfucker's going to cash. Fucking A. Next up is Newark's finest, Brittany Sykes, over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists for Toronto against Chicago. Here's the deal. She's fast. Skylar Diggins is moderately fast, but Brittany Sykes is a different level of fast. The girl, when you watch her handle the rock, she moves smooth, silky. She can play. I put her on the no-fly list earlier this year because she was so inconsistent. But I think she's rounding into form as his team is learning each other, and suspension lifted today. So we're gonna whoa, look at that. Whoa. That thing's going nuts. Yeah. I had to talk to the hair and makeup department and get this fixed. Got to fix my hair, baby. All right. She dropped 38 points against LA, and then 31 against Phoenix, then 27, 7 assists and 4 rebounds in her most recent game. Her last PRA was 38, and that's 10.5 above what this line is. This line's 27.5. She's getting more offensive volume. She's the engine that makes it go. And Marina is the shooter. And now that we're sitting here talking about this, I'm going to look up Marina Mabry's point total because that might be worth a trip to the window, but we're going to find out right now live on the air. But while that pulls up, back to Brittany. She's getting more offensive volume with Toronto than she's had anywhere in her 10-year career, and she's home against Chicago. They're below average defense. No Rakia Jackson. Camila Cardoso, not known for her defense. I think this is underpriced. And let me find, and that Toronto money line. Yeah, they have Toronto minus 2.5. Take the minus 2.5. Do not bet the money line. Take the 2.5. If you can find it at 2, get it at 2. But at the money line is minus 150. So you would have to pay $15 to bring back 25. That's a little bit too expensive in my opinion. So do not pay that, but take Toronto minus the 2.5. And they have Marina Mabry's point total at 18.5. I'm not sure about that, but what about her 3-pointers made? I like Marina, and I'm adding this live on the air for a full unit. We're going to take Marina Mabry over 2.5 3-pointers to the window. She is just a shooter and a player, and also she's one of my favorites as well. I'm sorry, I'm pulling this up right now so I can give you actionable intel for this. Marina Mabry, last 3 games. She only had 2 last game 3-pointers made. She was 2 for 6. She had 17 points, and that was against the Liberty, who have a great defense. Prior to that, against Seattle, 3 made 3-pointers. Against the same Chicago team, 3 made 3-pointers. Only 2 against Portland at home, 1 against Minnesota. Wait, those are free throws. Sorry. No, 3 against Seattle, 3 against Chicago, 3 against Portland. She had an awful game against Minnesota, went 0 for 8. But prior to that, against Phoenix, she made 6. She made 2, 1, 1. Yeah, she's only missed this line 1, 2, 3, 4 times all season out of 11 games. So Marina Mabry over 2.5 threes, along with Brittany Sykes over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. We're on the Portland Fire plus the 8.5. We are on the Toronto Tempo on the money line. Again, I said that line has gotten away from, well, not me. It's gotten away from you if you're getting this later. But take Toronto minus the 2.5. And if you can find a 2, even better. And Kelsey Plum over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. That's the Sunday, guys. I'm going to go through every single bet just to recap everything. And take a second and like and subscribe to the video, please, guys. I would greatly appreciate it. If you like the video, subscribe to the channel. We're just giving you some actionable information. And in baseball, we are on the Cleveland Guardians on the money line, the Red Sox on the money line, the Washington Nationals on the money line. We're on the Toronto Tempo on the money line, Brittany Sykes over 27.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Kelsey Plum over 28.5 points, rebounds, and assists. Portland Fire plus 8.5. And Marina Mabry over 2.5 made threes. You all have a great Sunday. Elevate. Elevate yourself. Elevate your mindset. Elevate the way you think. Elevate the way you move. Elevate everything you do to positivity, to light, and to love. You all have a great Sunday. This is Jemiah from the To The Window Sports Betting Podcast. Do not bet what you can't afford to lose. And if a bet makes you sweat, guys, you are not doing it right. Keep it easy. We'll see you next time. Chris is back in town, so we'll have some fire coming for you in the next few days. You guys take care. Love.